I only know Sheffield, it's not the only place I've ever lived all my life for 50 years. It's part of my DNA completely from start to finish. The pub scenes and the cafe scenes are basically the people that I've seen, witnessed and lived with, and they all sort of feature in this massive cast that I have in my paintings. The sort of period of time that I paint, in my mind, it's sort of frozen between this sort of period of 1969 to about 1979, with this 10-year period. Even though I focus on melancholic scenes sometimes, so if there's like a woman in a cafe on her own, for instance, that story behind that woman is she might have lost her husband, or she's in a moment of quietness anyway because she's gone into town and just found herself a spare 2 minutes. So those sort of reflections are there, but I also try to have as much joy as possible in my paintings as well. I think it's really important for an emotional contact to be created with a piece of artwork. When I look back at the work that I've created and still create, the ones that sort of bring a smile to my face, I have a connection, is sort of when I'm having a conversation with my mum and my dad, because I've lost both my parents now, and I lost my mum when I was 7. And so I relive my childhood through my work, in a sense, and my dialogue with my mum. I'm really privileged to be able to continue that relationship with my mum in paintings that necessarily didn't exist, but I can always put her in a painting and know it's her. So the paintings that I adore and are the ones that I have a real personal attachment to. So my dad features a lot in work, though you wouldn't know it, but I know it, and so does my mum. I think that I have the fondest for like interior scenes, so inside cafes in Sheffield, inside pubs in Sheffield, because they're the heart and soul of the city, because that's where people feel at the most comfortable. It's that moment of relaxation, because obviously I'm documenting people that worked hard through their adult lives. There are certain things that were made in Sheffield that are synonymous with Sheffield. So you've got, obviously, there's stainless steel, there's the penknife, for instance, and then there's obviously Henderson's relish, and so these are certain things that Sheffield is famous for and infamous for as well. So people get stainless steel in other countries, they understand what that's all about, and Sheffield made it, but they won't understand what Henderson's is. But that's so unique to Sheffield, like the fish cake sandwich, or fish cake butty, should I say. Now I know that the Sheffield fish cake is a West Yorkshire thing as well, like in Huddersfield they have the same kind of fish cake, but you can't get it anywhere else, in a sense. You know, it's a unique food product, and it's an utter delight, and you know, it mystifies me that no one else has adopted the Sheffield fish cake because a rissle's a poor excuse of a sandwich. Because of my artistic abilities, shall we say, I couldn't paint for toffee with oil paints and watercolours. I've just not had the training, I've not had the scope, so all I could do was what I knew how to do, which was cartoon style work. But I also knew that I couldn't make them pure cartoons, because as soon as you start putting eyes on characters and mouths, then you have to then give them expressions, and then when you're doing a cartoon style and you give something an expression, it really becomes a cartoon. So I had to sort of strip the facial features away as much as possible to make them more solid as humans. So there's a woman looking out of a window. The fact that she doesn't have a real expression and her face is quite blank is really good, because it also means that you can interject who it is on that. So it's a bit like your nan, or it's a bit like your mum. But as soon as you start putting a lot more detail in, then it's too much like that character in the painting, and the connection gets lost straight away. So I had to find a way of taking the facial expressions out and still being able to call it a human being in a sense. So I just drew this little doodle with this line across, and the character there was just looking straight back at me without any features, but I just knew that there was something behind that face that was saying something without saying anything. One of the artists in Sheffield that I have a massive respect for is Joe Scarborough. His paintings are a party, an absolute fiesta, and everybody's invited to Joe Scarborough's party. But mine, you're in the kitchen with just me. That's basically the difference between us both in that respect, but we both have a great love, I think, of the people of Sheffield. And I think that's the one unifying thing between us both, is we have a passion and a compassion for Sheffielders.